Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy. I apologize for this video not being more detailed, but I'm kind of at a time crunch. But I hope this information would be helpful to you if you are replacing an alternator on a Honda Odyssey or some similar Honda with a J-Series engine. This is a 2012 model. Things are a little cramped down in here, but these are the things that will help you open up enough space to get the alternator out through the top. Step one, disconnect the negative battery cable. Make sure there is no electrical power going to the system before you start working on it. And here's another tip. Take the dipstick out. These little plastic pieces break off so easily just if you breathe on them wrong. So if you just remove this and set it aside altogether, you'll be better off. Remove this bolt for this upper AC line. Also, there's a high pressure AC line you want to undo from here. There's also, if you notice down there, another clip that you want to undo it from. You might notice that I have taken the power steering fluid reservoir, and it used to be on this side, but I looped it around underneath this AC line to give me space over here. Additionally, I removed the coolant reservoir. There's a little plastic clip, just like you see here, that you can remove, and that will undo. But there's a bracket down underneath that attaches to right here. There's a 10mm fastener. It sticks on the side of the frame rail there. You need to remove that also. And there is a 17mm fastener down there for the engine mount that goes through. You want to remove that. And I've taken a wood block and put it underneath the engine to lift it up a little bit after removing that bolt. And that can give you enough upward movement on the engine to give you enough space to just sort of fish that guy out, because that's what it is. It's something of a Chinese puzzle. You will also want to remove this upper bracket that's on the alternator. There's one 12mm fastener holding it to the cylinder head up there, and then the other fastener goes through the back of the alternator and holds on here. And then this one goes to the top of this wiring harness that goes to the alternator and everything else, which you probably should disconnect anyway. You want to make sure to disconnect all the electrical connections. There's one last one. This green one goes to the air conditioning compressor, which is located right beneath this alternator. So you want to be sure to get these wires out of the way, especially this one, because you don't want to break this trying to get this out of here. You may need to massage this larger low pressure AC hose here, just sort of push it towards the fan a little bit in order to accommodate the alternator going in and out. Just a little bit, not a lot. You don't want to break it, but you just might want to nudge it out of the way. Once you do all this stuff, you'll get enough space to just sort of work it out here. And here's one last tip for you. Let's see if I can get down in there. Okay, if you see that mount right there, there's a collar on the inside of it. Now what I'll do is I'll go in and spray that with a little bit of penetrating oil and hit it with a hammer. And the reason I do that is to open up more space for the alternator to fit down in there. Otherwise, you're trying to force this alternator down into that space in there, but you can open that space up by moving that dowel just a little bit. It doesn't need to move much, just a millimeter is all you need. And this will help this drop into place much easier. Here's another tip for reassembly. Don't tighten all the fasteners until you have everything connected. In particular, this upper bracket that holds the ear of the alternator on to the cylinder head. What you want to do is you want to get one of them started, bring the alternator up, get the other one started, and leave the whole thing loose. So that way you can get everything in line before you run it down. If you run this bracket down first, you might have a heck of a time getting it to go together. Here's an important note about replacing these alternators. Look at the top of this front valve cover, at these solenoids, and also the valve cover gasket, and make sure none of that is leaking. Any oil leaking out of here can leak down on your new alternator and basically destroy it. So make sure you address any oil leaks that may be going down onto the alternator if you have a bad alternator on one of these engines. I hope that information was helpful and useful to you. I am Eric the Car Guy. Linked in the description will be additional stuff, including how you can find me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. I'll see you next time with my hopefully less torn gloves.